And welcome everyone then to game number 1 in the next series of the day, StrayDog versus D3rp. Playing Hans and Japanese, respectively, the blue and red players. There is one way in which we can actually provide coverage for the series that is about to start live. And that is if we cover, let's say, game number 1 of this one, potentially game number 2, depending on how long game number 1 is. And then we cover the series live, and then we finish covering this one with recorded games after the live series is on. If that is fine for you, we could potentially do that. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, it's not really going to impact you because you're going to have this in a single video anyway. As a matter of fact, if you're watching this on a Twitch VOD, it's not going to impact you either because we can just... I can just make a single video out of 2 different portions of the stream. That's great. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. So we can prioritize the live series. And then finish casting this one after that one is over. So for Civilization, StrayDog playing with Hans is going to get first off 10 and 20% cheaper cavalry archer type units in the castle and Imperial Ages. We have on top of that 50% accuracy on trebuchets as opposed to 15%. We get for Hans, on top of it, 200 population support at the cost of 100 wood at the very beginning of the game. The team bonus will make their stables work 20% faster, and on the right hand side, D3rp, well, he's playing with Japanese, which means 33% faster attacking infantry units starting in the field age, a 50% discount on drop-off buildings, and faster working fisher ships with extra HP and extra pierce armor as well. See, he's going to try and take advantage of it. You would imagine with that civilization on this map, you would certainly be hoping to get control of the center, right? After all, it's about half of the appeal for Japanese, the efficient fishing ships. And in any case, there we go. Let's take a look at the map generation while we wait for the players to make a play for the PLH. Starting with the blue player, Mr. StrayDog. Yeah. Mr. StrayDog is going to have the main gold up in the north. Gonna have yeah, the match is not going to work because these are recorded games. Then the secondary goal is going to be up in the north even farther away, and then the other secondary goal is going to be towards the southeast. Main stone on the left-hand side, secondary stone on the right-hand side, both of these very far away from the TC. However, he does have berries on the back, so if he does not manage to get presence around the center, although he's going to try. You can see that he's going for the dock already, the blue player that is over here. Yeah, there we go. If he does not manage to get good presence at the center, then he could potentially just try and collect from the berry, which is over here, of course. On the right hand side, we'll see that D3rp's got, there we go, the main gold forward. So not the best. Secondary goal towards the north, and then the other secondary goal towards the southeast, very far away from the TC. This is a really poor map generation for D3rp, and you gotta feel it for him. He definitely will need to take advantage of the center fishing in order to stay relevant in terms of economy in this game because of the fairly poor map generation. Even if the center is not related to gold necessarily, and it's just going to be for food, of course, if he is ahead over here, that's going to compensate for his poor map generation in the sense that he's going to have more food compared to his opponent, and he could potentially use the market to try and compensate, right? By just selling some of the extra food. Regardless though, it's going to be about it. PLH will be on the way for both these players as we see Loom coming in. And yeah, that is true. D3rp did manage to get a villager from the Dogtown over here. Indeed, we see one Ikokeli favoring D3rp. And we can actually go back a little bit and take a look at it. Yeah, over here. That was really well made. As StrayDog did not have a Loom at that point yet. In the end, D3rp ends out taking advantage of it. And he keeps the scout alive as well, which is very, very important. Very good for him. Usually when we see a scout take, a village down in the Dark Age, they are too weak to survive afterwards, but he's done a really good job. I love how you draw on the screen. That's so cool, and I have not seen anyone else implement this. Yeah. For the most part, I think I'm probably the one doing it the most, or at the very least implementing it. The most, because I know that Moonfaller also uses the same program that I used, but I don't think he has any of the functionality implemented that I have, like the different stickers, right, for towers, castles, the dog, siege workshop, DC, etc., and the different colors for the players and stuff. Village 0 ready for both these players, and StrayDog's coming in. He's trying to be sneaky. D3rp got to the Village, but he's not going for any navy. Now he's got a fire galley on the way, and StrayDog, he's got his own fire galley coming up as well. Archer range is on the way for StrayDog. We saw the sneaky villagers. Wasn't really sure what he was going to go for. Taking a look at the village distribution, it certainly does make sense, as he's got a good amount of gold miners over there. And notice that he's going for the berries on the back. StrayDog, that is. And I think he's probably anticipating to struggle at the center over here, so let's take a look. Remember though, remember the fishing ships from the Japanese, they are so strong. So StrayDog was full on targeting the fishing ships from D3rp over here, and he wasn't able to even get it down to half HP while he started getting targeted already by D3rp's own unit. Extra fire galley on the way. We see a demolition raft on the way for D3rp as well. Meanwhile, StrayDog on the other hand, he's trying to get a tower up. What kind of vision does he have over here? He doesn't really have too much vision, but he's gonna try and prevent D3rp from getting access to the stone. So then, afterwards, he could potentially make a play for a tower over here, for instance, right? And then it wouldn't be possible for StrayDog to defend with more than just one tower at a time. So if we got a tower up over here, the tower up over there, and then he decides to continue on the Trush, he could go for extra towers further around, and basically D3rp wouldn't be able to defend himself against that, although he does have some stone up in the north. Let me take a look to see if StrayDog is aware of it. Okay, never mind. Yeah, he knows about it, so you shouldn't expect there to be ran out of stone because of having the one tower over there. Good reaction though from StrayDog. Knocks the scout down right away. D3rp wasn't able to do much of anything over there. Beautiful, and villager goes down from D3rp right now to get a 3-2 Eco KD, still favoring the red player, mind you. And it seems like he's going to be the one getting full center control as well, which is so good. Remember, Japanese get already 10% faster working fishing ships in the fuel age. The castle age, that's going to go out to 15 as well. Yeah, StrayDog's not going for any navy anymore, so he's just gonna try and make a play for the archers here instead, and D3rp should be able to defend himself. He's got not only the stable, but also the archer range, in which he can train skirmishers. He can go for scouts, he can go for skirmishers. He's got the rock, StrayDog's scissor. So it doesn't seem like the bull player is gonna be able to do much of anything over here, will he? Here come the archers. Yeah, and StrayDog already got cleaned up. Man, this is not looking good for the bull player. He's not doing much of anything with a archer range over there. He got the tower here and he's collecting stone. Like okay, alright. He pushed D3rp away from the wood line. And D3rp, well, he just made the play for the north, right? He's got an outpost coming up. He's going to start collecting some stone himself. He's fine. He's taking deer even. You take a look at StrayDog and he's going to start collecting wood from here. He's not collecting the deer. He's not taking advantage of it. And D3rp not only is going to be the only player also taking advantage of the extra neutral resources around the map, but also he's the only player with access to the center. And with Japanese friendships, man, you know that's going to bring a lot of extra resources. D3rp should try to defend against the archers over here. Once again, skirmishers are perfect counter to what StrayDog's been playing with. And to be honest, man, I wouldn't be surprised if StrayDog called the GG as soon as D3rp got to the castle edge, because how does he ever catch up? Not really sure there is a way actually for him to do so. Here we go. So you have about 30 minutes before the series begins live. All right. We'll see. I don't really expect this game to keep on going for much longer. I think D3rp gets to the castle age and StrayDog. Well, StrayDog's actually going to beat him to the castle age, so that is good. He's not going to lag behind too much, but D3rp should still be in a much better position. So long as the red player doesn't really throw this one too much, he should be in a good spot, right? So this one does not really last too long. Then we could potentially cast the second game before the next series begins, and we'll switch over to that one live, and then after that one is over, we finish casting the recorded games from this series, right? We could do that. Beautiful. Stable's coming up now for StrayDog. That's gonna be the second one as he's going out to the castle edge. We know exactly what that entails. D3rp, on the other hand, should be on his way to the castle edge very soon. He's going to lag behind by a little bit, but he has 14 workers ahead. He is going out to the castle edge in the next few seconds. He still has over 3 times the military count compared to StrayDog 2. He's gonna need to get some upgrades though, right now. Not even +1/+1. I'm just going to delete this one message to avoid potential spoilers for anybody watching the VOD afterwards. But yeah, let me know if you got the answer already, the last nair, or if you're gonna need somebody to whisper that to you. Man, StrayDog is getting a villager down over here with very weak scouts, and honestly, he could have lost 2 of those scouts to the villager alone if D3rp had targeted the right units. So now as the wood player gets to the castle edge, we'll see knights coming out. He's got 2 stables. Doesn't really have a strong enough economy to go for double stable production though, by the looks of it. Chain bar, the numbers coming up. On the right hand side, yeah, it doesn't really have anything anymore. And these knights might end up clearing out these fuel H units. Yes. But D3rp's going to buy himself enough time to get to the castle edge, and now it really gets tricky for StrayDog. He's got to fight off a player with a much stronger economy and with access to the same units that he's got. The only difference is that StrayDog gets a 10% discount on cavalry archers, right? But that's about it. D3rp is technically going to have better upgraded cavalry archers in the Imperial Age. He's gonna have to pay full price for those. Did anybody manage to whisper last snare as well? Let me know, otherwise I can do it myself. Nice snipe. There's a lot of catching up to do over here though, for Mr. StrayDog. Still behind by about 8 workers, and now Derp's got crossbows. So these are significantly stronger. You need to go for the pikeman upgrade as well. With Japanese, they attack 33% faster, so they will pretty easily defend against knights, as long as he keeps them in the right position. Oh, he's got whispers disabled. Rip. Well, last snare, you can just clip the stream, go back 2 minutes before I deleted the message and take a look at it, but yeah, I just deleted it to prevent spoilers. There we are. Beautiful defense so far for Derp. He's got more monks on the way. 2 monasteries. Wikipedia is updated, yes, but if you check Wikipedia, be mindful that you might get spoiler for the rest of the series that we have not covered yet. We have 3 series that we want to cover. This one, Beery's series, as well as Gabby's series, and then the one that's going to start in half an hour. Of course, that one is not going to have the results posted over there, but just be mindful of it. Yeah, there we go. Alright, now he enabled whispers. Now somebody could try. Thank you, guys, for understanding. Demolition Raft from Derp. Won't really find anything over here though. StrayDog is already wary of it. So he's just trying to stay away from the center pawn. You know, this is going to be much longer than I anticipated it was going to be. Derp seemed to have such a massive lead to the castle age. He seemed to have, not necessarily to the castle age, but he seemed to have a massive lead when going out to the castle age in terms of economy, in terms of military as well. But StrayDog has been the one putting pressure the most. He's been the one for the most part in the driver's seats over here calling the shots, while Derp, he's been playing defensively for the most part. Now that might change though. He's got the crossbows coming forward and this could be huge. The red player does not have ballistics though, so he needs to close the gap against the villagers if he is ever hoping to get more than just a few picks. And he will get 3, he will get 4, he will not get 4! Without ballistics, he cannot do it. But if he roams around, he should be able to defend against small numbers of knights like this, especially with the weak units that StrayDog's got over here. He should be able to keep on disrupting StrayDog's economy, and we'll take a look at it. Here come the knights from StrayDog. These are full HP. So they was about to get completely cleaned up. What do you think Derp should have done to finish this earlier? Try to prioritize going after the castle age a little bit more. He could have gone up sooner. It's likely by using the market. He struggled a little bit. But of course, hindsight's 2020. At that point in time, and especially from the player's position, it's very hard to assess the situation correctly, especially when you don't have full vision, right? It's one of those things that you're simply just going to get by playing a lot and developing your game sense. These players are already very high level and they have pretty good game sense, but some things you're still going to notice are much better for like 2K3, 2K4 players and higher. And I would say this is one of those instances where they probably would have been able to go up to the castle age earlier if he prioritized it more. And he would have found himself in a much better position, because the thing that kept StrayDog alive this game so long was his push by getting to the castle age earlier and sending the knights forward. While Derp, on the other hand, was playing defensive and reactive for the most part, right? In the last 7 minutes or so. Hey, there we go. Actually, StrayDog is 2K4. Damn! Rank 35. What is he doing in the Silver League, though? I thought this was for lower than top 45 players or so. He might have gotten higher, actually, in the past few months, perhaps. Maybe. Rank 35 is really good. Big conversions over there for TTL, yes. So to make good use of the monks. And let me actually show you something. TTL, you might know him as a Clown Legion member, as you can see over here. 2K! Wow! You know, he's looking very strong over here for a 2K player against 2K4. Let me show you something. We know TTL as a Clown Legion player. And by the way, nice knives over there. The monks go down right away. StrayDog's gonna try to go for a forward castle, but he already got spotted by TTL's 4 units, right? But check this out. Take a look at that game effective APM from TTL. 3 times as high as StrayDog. This is the fastest clown that I have ever seen. And to be honest, one of the fastest players that I have ever seen as well. Right up there with Sebastian too. And yeah, I just thought it was going to be an interesting point. And also explain why he was so damn good at the conversions. Because his unit control is so good, his APM is so high. He's such a fast player despite being mostly an arena player for the most part. So castle's coming out for StrayDog. It does manage to come out. Now TTL's gonna try to get his own castle up over here. StrayDog. StrayDog's going to keep on raiding around the right hand side as well. So you can see how he's trying to overwhelm TTL, while the red player might have a significantly higher APM compared to StrayDog. He can still get overwhelmed when units from the bull player are coming around everywhere, right? So we have the knights coming around here, about to take the villagers down, trying to take the castle from there. That is not the best position for the red player to find himself in. He's gonna need to pull the villagers out, and he does. But he does end up losing a few villagers over here. Now we have petards coming out from StrayDog. TTL's going for his own petard play. Seems to be in a better position though. It doesn't seem like StrayDog's managed to get a single shot against the castle from TTL yet, despite the fact that he managed to get the castle up sooner though. This is kind of surprising. He should be the one looking the strongest. Yeah, the villagers also got a bunch of HP off the castle too. So if you take a look at both of these, TTL is looking a little bit stronger. However, StrayDog still keeps on trying to put pressure, right? Not anywhere near as heavily as before. Only a few units over there. They do end up going down, and TTL lost the villager lead that he had. He still retains a stronger military count. StrayDog doesn't seem to be realizing about this. The player keeps on trying to get the raids going. Yeah. And see, this is what he's been doing the last 50 minutes or so. He just keeps on sending a small amount of units forward, and then he split those up into smaller groups even. But enough so that he's gonna be able to overwhelm their defenses. So far, the KD is better for StrayDog, despite the fact that he's been losing a bunch of villagers over here to the crossbows. And earlier we saw the raids coming out from the red player as well. It's not enough for him to catch up. And taking a look at gather economy time, we'll see that StrayDog's actually looking stronger compared to TTL, despite the fact that the red player has been on a higher worker count for a much longer portion of the game. This just goes to show how effective aggression really is. It's not necessarily about getting the villagers down. It's not necessarily about getting the fortifications down. Sometimes it's all about disrupting your opponent. So long as you're able to keep your own economy going while you get the raids going and they just have tons and tons of idle villager time, you're gonna be the one coming out on top. So far it's been pretty good. If we take a look at the worker efficiency throughout the game, you'll see the StrayDog does have about 10% or 9% of extra worker efficiency throughout the game compared to TTL. And this is one of those things, right? You know, StrayDog, 2K4 player against Derp. Derp could potentially have taken this one earlier, I think. But StrayDog's game sense and decision making over here has just been on a whole another level, 400 elo higher level compared to Derp. Make no mistake, of course, if this matchup was to take place on Arena, Derp would probably be the one to come out on top for sure. Maybe 9 times out of 10, but StrayDog is looking very strong over here despite seemingly being on the back foot for such a long time. It's going out to the Imperial Age, as is Derp. StrayDog managed to click up a little bit sooner, just about a second and a half sooner or so. Once he gets to the Imperial Age, we're going to see a Trebuchet come out for him. Once Derp gets to the Imperial Age, we're going to see Trebs coming out. We have a second castle on the way for Derp, so he'll be able to outproduce the Bull player. And StrayDog, well, he would have had 2 castles if he started going for petards earlier when he got the first castle up. Now, this is the second castle he's built, technically, but it's the only one that he's got left. Right? It's going to remain fairly uneventful until the players get to the Imperial Age. And then at that point, hell's gonna break loose, of course, with the trebuchets. None of these players gets access to bombard cannons, so that is not something anyone's going to be able to pursue. The Japanese don't get it, the Huns don't get it. Let's see here for both these guys. And trebuchets should be on the way, and they are. Remember, guys, Huns get 50% accuracy on trebuchets as opposed to 15%, so that is over 3 times the accuracy compared to standard trebuchets. That is huge. That is huge. As a matter of fact, 33%. Actually, I guess you would say 333% the accuracy, right? But that is huge, because if they are to engage in a treb war as opposed to targeting each other's castles, that's going to favor StrayDog. And Derp, well, he's going for 1 trebuchet at a time by the looks of it. The first one is getting forward, and StrayDog is getting his own second trebuchet on the way. Yeah, and you know, StrayDog's just going after the castle right away. Derp's going after the castle too. He's going to come out on top. The hill advantage over here is making such a big difference though for StrayDog. This castle is going down in the next few hits. Of course, the rounds over here will make a big difference as well. The castle from StrayDog staying up a little bit more easily. We have Cat Ram right now for StrayDog as well, so the Rams over there are significantly stronger. And there we go, the castle crumbles, guys! From Derp. 3 trebuchets left for StrayDog. If he goes after the trebuchets with his own trebs, he's going to take these down for sure. However, he's going after the trebuchets with a ram. And he wasn't able to get there, but he's bringing now light cavalry archers. In addition to this, and it seems like the arbalests from Derp are going to get absolutely cleaned up. And guys, the castle crumbles for StrayDog as well, but nothing's going to be quite as bad as Derp losing his entire army over here on the sea micros. The arbalesters and takes the cavalry archers down manually. The arbalesters otherwise are going to be targeting the rams, and if he's not taking the rams, well, the rams are going to take the trebuchet. So it seems like there is no losing over here for StrayDog. He's going to get a good trade no matter what. Yeah, there we go. Ro36 goes down. The TC is crumbling next. Meanwhile, D3rp, he has his own counter-strike going on down the south, but doesn't seem like it's going to do too much for him, unfortunately. And that's another TC biting the dust. And another one very soon. A lot of exposed economy then for the red player after this one. Would you guys be predicting to win the series here between both these players? If we were watching this one live, you gotta favor StrayDog, right? Soft being able to come back from such an unfavorable position after losing the center. It's nothing short of remarkable, but then there are about 400 reasons why you might favor StrayDog over here. Well, there you would probably prefer to see him on something like 45 clearing, perhaps. And yeah, here come the C-trams now. StrayDog, it's in a good spot. And this is what I was talking about earlier, right? There needs to manually target the units, otherwise the Arbalests are just going to target the C-trams, right? And these are going to soak damage. In the end, he does a good job. However, that's only on the left-hand side where he was able to clean that up. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, StrayDog's got a stronger push coming in, because D3rp's been losing a lot of villagers to the raids. He's gone down very heavily, down to 76 villagers. And StrayDog, well, StrayDog can keep on raiding, of course. He's got more cavalry archers coming now. He's got skirmishes right now on the way as well to target the Arbalesters and more like cavalry. No Hussar yet, mind you, for StrayDog. I feel like that is a very necessary upgrade he needs. Here we are. Beautiful. Few Arbalesters left forward from D3rp are going down, and this is a very long game. I'm starting to have second thoughts about covering the series coming up live, because if all the games from this set are going to be this long, even 3 games are going to make the series so long. I only have time until 23 GMT to cast. Then I need to take off and publicly humiliate myself in the trivia, in the Jeopardy stream. Heavy cavalry archers on the way now, part and tactic as well for StrayDog. Going to make this push so much stronger, of course, against the Arbalesters. These units are going to do so much better now. He's got ballistics, he's got thumb ring already, so these are 100% accurate. Cavalry archers, that is. There we are, StrayDog's push over here. It looks absolutely unstoppable. It's got a bunch of buildings coming up on the right hand side as well. C-trams on the way, could potentially go for cavalry archers and light cavalry, the same he's been going for up in the north. He's got the ability to produce from down the south as well. So D3rp's going to call the GG right there, right here, right now. StrayDog will be the one to get the lead in the series with a 1-0 score. He'll put himself on top. Let's take a look at the achievements before hopping back out. And remember, in about 6 minutes, live series begins. Live series usually take a little bit longer to get going. They usually take a little bit longer between games as well. We're not going to be able to zoom past those as quickly. But the players seem like they might be already in game, actually. So they started actually drafting a little bit earlier. So we'll see. If the game is already live, we are going to jump into game number 1, right, of the next series. If it's not the case, then we are just going to continue going for record the games over here. So better KD for StrayDog overall. And once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't worry. You're going to see the rest of this series as part of this same video. You don't have to worry about anything. For economy, a stronger economy for StrayDog as well. For society, a higher villager max count for StrayDog as well. Well done. And yeah, let's go back and see what's in store for us next. And there we are. Welcome everyone then to the second game of the series. The first one we covered yesterday using record the games. Because there was a series that was starting between Husiel and Levi at the same time as we were covering the set, I decided to prioritize the live game. So we had to kind of push back the record the games for today. But we are going to finish casting this one. So far, StrayDog 1 up, nil against D3rp. If you're watching this on YouTube afterwards, of course, it's just going to be part of a single video. So there's nothing for you to do. It's just going to be split in 2 parts on Twitch. By the way, everybody coming into the stream right now, I would like to have you know that if you do !VODS, VODS, you'll get a link to the video section of my Twitch page, which has all the series that I ever cast highlighted into individual videos. Thank you, Turnip. So for instance, later today, after this stream is over, I'm going to highlight Ro36's Grand Final Series. I'm going to highlight this one, right? But you can already find some of the sets that I covered yesterday over there. You can find so many games that I have been covering through the years, just in the videos. Regardless though, taking a look at the civilizations and the maps for game number 2 this time around, we're gonna see that StrayDog, he's got Portuguese, which means he's gonna be getting wood out of the berry bushes over here in addition to food. Of course, that's part of the new bonus as they got added to them in the latest patch. Besides that, we also see for Portuguese faster research and upgrades still. That's going to be now the team bonus. And in addition to that, they still have the 20% gold discount on units and the access to Factory and the Imperial Age. Meanwhile, D3rp playing with Turks up in the north, he's going to have so many bonuses. So much that I'm going to take a look at the map generation for StrayDog before we go over to talk about their civilization, alright? So what do we get for the bull player here? He's got the main gold on the back, and this is fantastic. Then the secondary goal is going to be beyond the walls. This is very standard, and it's going to be kind of like what you expect to see on arena type maps, and this is going to be very much an arena type kind of map. A very big difference between this one and some of the other arena-like games that we have seen in the past is that this one doesn't really have any of the walls over here on the back. Before, the 45 clearing that we saw in many tournaments in the past would usually begin already with walls behind as well. But this time around, this version of the map actually does not get any walls on the back. So that means that you are potentially able to go forward around the outside and put some pressure against your opponent much earlier than you would otherwise be able to put pressure through the center because you have to worry about the stone walls, right? The other secondary goal is going to be on the back for StrayDog, and the stone is going to be forward for him, the main one, and then the rest is going to be just at the center. Taking a look at D3rp's civilization and map generation, we're going to see Turks over here for the red player, which means that he gets 25% faster working. Gold miners, actually, he gets chemistry for free, a 50% discount on gunpowder upgrades, as well as 1 extra pierce armor on scoutland units and free light cavalry and hussar upgrades. Besides that, we also have for Turks, there we go, nice lure. We're gonna have for the Turks, for the team bonus, 25% faster training gunpowder units, and as part of the standard civilization bonuses, 25% extra HP on gunpowder units as well. So there's a bunch of stuff that D3rp's gonna be able to benefit from. And you know, this is probably the closest you get to arena. So it makes sense that he's gonna be making use of Turks over here. This is going to be a very strong civilization for a map like this and any other maps based on arena, of course. And notice that because you do not begin with the stone walls on the back of your base, Derp's actually going to take the time and get the walls up himself, going for the palisades up in the north and towards the left-hand side as well. A little bit of a scout skirmish over here. Let's see who comes out on top before going on to analyze the rest of the map generation. Yeah, it's favoring Derp. And you know what? StrayDog, he is trapped. He got trapped over there. He's got a little bit of a heal, and he's just holding on to it for dear life. He's not gonna get out of here. He's just going to set camp and wait for Derp to come to him. But in the end, he won't be able to do anything, right? Derp's going to bring an additional villager, and that's going to be enough to push StrayDog away. There are extra hills on the back of Derp's economy, or actually Derp's base, so this is something StrayDog could try and take advantage of, as you can see. But it's not going to be enough. In the end, the scout goes down. Now Derp's going to be the only player with the scout left. Meanwhile, StrayDog is going to be blindfolded. This makes a big difference this early into the game. You definitely want to get scouting. And Derp's going to be the only player to be able to go for it, right? StrayDog, he's going up to the fuel H, and so is Derp. But he's going to have to wait until he gets to the fuel H in order to start going for extra scouts once again. Given the civilizations, though, that's not necessarily what I'm expecting. StrayDog's playing with Portuguese over here. So we'll see. And Derp, yeah, is going to start getting some vision around the center. Meanwhile, StrayDog, he doesn't really have much vision of anything. He went with the scout around the left-hand side, around the palaces over here, ended up getting trapped and losing the scout. So he doesn't really know anything that he wouldn't have known anyway, right? About. He only knows that there are walls for Derp. He knew that without scouting. And I guess the only thing that he found out was that we have additional palisade walls coming up over here for Derp on the back, so he knows that he won't be able to put any pressure from the outside. But then losing the scout means that he won't be able to scout the relics, he won't be able to contest these. Well, maybe he will if he goes for a stable in the fuel H. Once again, not necessarily what I'm expecting, but if he does go for it, he could potentially end up finding where the relics are. The arena part of this game and this map type as well is going to have the players fight over the relics at the center, and just like arena, we are going to have 5. This one is favoring Derp a little bit. It's a little bit closer to his base. This one is going to be kind of neutral, actually. And then on the right hand side, we have one that's favoring the blue player. We have one that's favoring the red player over here. So I would say the 2 relics are already favoring Derp a little bit, even if this one is not by too much, right? And then this one is going to be kind of neutral as well in between both player bases. For the rest, we'll see on the right hand side 2 additional relics, and this map is going to spawn 9 relics, so 5 at the center and then 4 outside. And this one is favoring StrayDog, very, very close to his base, or at the very least closer to his base compared to Derp's. This one as well is going to be favoring him a little bit more. And then this one up in the north, this one favors Derp a little bit, as does this one. So it's going to be in the end about 2 to 2 relics that are favoring each player outside, and then the center ones are going to be also pretty even for the most part, I would say. The cast is coming out from both these guys. StrayDog, man, he did not go for the stable, just a market and the blacksmith over here, which means no scouting for the blue player, and this puts Derp in a very good spot. Once he gets to the castle age, he's been collecting stone quite heavily, should be able to go for a castle. And given the current situation with StrayDog being kind of blindfolded here, wouldn't be surprised if Derp decided to go for a forward castle. Let me take a look at the red player scouting information. So this one over the weekend, this was an incredible series, as is to be expected from 2 very entertaining players. Very much looking forward to it. Bailo, thank you. And yeah, you know, this is very interesting because Derp already saw the mining camp over here. That means that he knows there are some resources behind the walls around this area, right? So if he were the one to go for a forward castle, and then he went for one over here, he will be able to deny both these stones. And he'll be able to prevent StrayDog from being able to go for any extra castles, but in the end, it's gonna be StrayDog, the one to go for the forward castle. Scouting information revealed where the gold and the stones were, so that's something he knows that Derp doesn't really know himself. And Derp says, okay, maybe not auto scout next time. Did he just lose a scout? I think, yeah. He just lost a scout over here. You can see it, and the farm is decomposing. It's going to be consumed in the form of lettuce by the villagers at some point in the future, but right now it's just going to be fuel for plants. Anyway, castle's coming up for StrayDog. Derp, on the other hand, realized about this. That's not losing a villager though. 1 for 1. There we go, and there's going to pull the villager back. And this is very interesting to see from StrayDog because he didn't really have any vision of what Derp was going for. And going for a castle forward over here, especially if Derp was the one to try and go for a forward castle, could have actually backfired for the bull player. Could have resulted in a villager fight at the center, for instance. Thanks so much for the follow, appreciate it. And welcome you guys, welcome everyone who are still sticking around from Dave's raid. I hope you're enjoying the content so far, and it seems like this is going to be a pretty good set from the things I've been hearing about it. And game number 2 is heating up. Organ guns coming out already for StrayDog. Derp, he already has some Janissaries coming in. And though he managed to get the monastery up over here, I don't see a single monk coming out for the red player. To be fair, he wouldn't really be able to collect all 5 relics at the center anymore because of the castle. This one's going to be kind of out of the question, and this one's going to be a little bit riskier to go collect. But the rest of the 3 remaining relics over here should still be up for grabs though. Does StrayDog have a monastery? He doesn't. He doesn't. The Janissaries and organ guns give extra arrows to the... You know, that's a really good question. I don't think I ever checked that. I would guess probably yes. That'll be my guess, because this is still range damage, right? From both these units. So I would guess so, yeah. But I'm not 100% sure. If anybody knows for a fact, do let me know. There we are. Although, to be fair, this is Siege at the same time, so maybe not for the organ guns, maybe yes for the Janissaries. A lot of pressure coming in. StrayDog is already breaching through, taking 2 villages down and delaying the second TC from Derp. Well, back home, the bull player is not going for any extra TCs and is going to be sticking to full military production. So far, Derp's struggled to keep the TC working, a little bit more so compared to StrayDog, and even though Derp is mostly known to be a clown player, and should be in a pretty good position, right, on an arena-like map, he's kind of on the back foot over here. Auto scouting certainly didn't help. Yeah, there we go. Finally, he's going after the relics. He doesn't not collecting the 1 over here, and the rest are still going to be out for grabs. Meanwhile, StrayDog, yeah, still no monastery. Seems like he's not interested in going for it whatsoever. So a little bit of the back foot for Derp for sure, but he is stabilizing. The second TC did come up, and that should allow him to catch up in work count eventually. And now that he is also the only player going for the relics, that's going to put him in a very good position as well. And if you take a look at StrayDog's point of view, he doesn't know where the relics are. He only knows about this one because it was basically, you know, on the way to the forecastle. So he won't realize about the relics disappearing from the fog of war, since he has not scouted this area of the map whatsoever. Meanwhile, Derp, he's going for the counter-strike. And StrayDog, he's going for the walls, but he overjumped. And here comes Derp. StrayDog does not seem to be paying attention. And while the organ guns were putting a lot of pressure forward from the bull player, now we're going to see the red player come in. The Janissaries will start shredding the economy from the bull player from inside. We'll see StrayDog slowly but surely hemorrhage villagers over here as his economy bleeds out. 3, 4 villagers going down so far. 5 villagers even. And the Janissaries are not done. They are thirsty for blood. More like, you know, like a mosquito over here. He's gonna keep on roaming around trying to find extra vulnerable areas. And you know what? StrayDog, well, he does have plenty of exposed economy. He's forcing to bring in the the organ guns back to fight the Janissaries off. My lord, English today is Yeah, 10 out of 10. But the Janissaries still have managed to do a lot more damage over here and will allow Derp to stay ahead, to get ahead and to stay ahead in working count, especially as he's the only player with the extra TC, of course. StrayDog's going to stabilize over here after bringing the organ guns back. It's going to be the first player to go up to the Imperial Age as well. And Derp will struggle big time. Once the Imperial Age is here from StrayDog, we're going to see trebuchets come out, right? Because Derp's been going for Janissaries only, that's basically his entire army composition. Losing the castle is going to be tragic for the red player, as he won't be able to keep on going for many more Janis, of course. However, he does have enough stone to keep the castle up, or to potentially go for a second castle. And it's really going to depend on how quickly he wants to place the second castle. It seems like he's going to try to go for a forward one. He's sending a bunch of villagers around the left-hand side. So we're gonna see a castle drop coming up over here from Derp around StrayDog space, right? Either that, or he's gonna go for a defensive castle around here so that he can provide protection to his gold miners. Probably around here would be a good position. It seems like he's going forward though. Yes, sir! No castle foundation coming out defensively. No, sir. He's gonna go full steam. Try and ramp up the pressure against StrayDog, who has gotten to the Imperial Age and is already queuing a trebuchet up though. So this one seems like it's gonna be a gunner. Derp could try to repair it, of course, but a bunch of the resources he's got, a bunch of the stone he's got, is gonna use to try and castle drop, and it seems like he's gonna try and castle drop StrayDog inside this economy, and this could be absolutely fantastic. Imagine we see a castle come up around here for the red player on the hill. He'll be able to take the gold miners out, but if he is not concerned with taking the hill, he could potentially go for a castle over here, for instance, and that'll be enough for him to deny this. Will be enough for him to take the TC down as well, and kind of put StrayDog, well, in a stranded position, right? Is going to go from StrayDog to Strayvilles. As we see the castle come up and the Janissaries providing protection for the villagers. This one is coming out for sure, and back home, Derp is not trying to repair this castle, is not going for darts, is not going for ramps or anything. So this castle's going down for sure, and this is the only thing that StrayDog's gonna have left if he does end up losing the TC over there. Oh, and that is an even better position for Derp. With this one, he is effectively, the red player that is, taking the TC down, denying the gold, denying the stone as well. And it's so much better compared to what I was suggesting earlier as well. And there's a reason why Derp's going to be a 2K player versus yours truly. But yeah. Can you use your insane cast knowledge to coach me to 1500? Oh, Fluffy Bunny. I would certainly not mind giving you some advice for sure, but I'm not really sure I'm in a position to coach anyone just yet. I need to sort my own gameplay first. That's something we're gonna be doing in 2023, by the way. It's gonna be the year of getting back in shape. I'm telling you, I play the placement matches, and wow, StrayDog just goes on to call the GG over here. Well, he was in the back foot, right? Indeed. And we saw this coming, of course, the moment that Derp decided to go forward for the castle drop over here. And it was overall a very, very nicely executed play over here. Nicely executed move from Derp. And even if he was not going to be on the Imperial Age anytime soon, this is the game-winning move that allowed him to take this one against StrayDog and allowed him to catch up. Because with this, Derp takes game number 2 to equalize the series. Is going to be 1-1. And we're going to be jumping into game number 3 in a moment to take a look at what we get for that one. But for the time being, 1-1, well played. Let's take a look at the achievements. Better KD for Derps, not even close. It's gonna be 9-4, a little higher than 9-4 actually. For technology, we see a stronger, for economy, sorry, we see a stronger economy for Derp, collecting about 1100 extra resources. And society is going to reveal also a higher villager max count for Derp. And that's going to be about it from the stuff that we're going to take a look at right now. So let's wait for game number 3. Let's make sure that the colors are correct. Let's make sure that everything is working fine over here. I think it is. Yeah, all right. So, welcome everyone to game number 3 in the specified series between StrayDog and D3rp. We saw an amazing second game for the red player over here. Now for game number 3, we're gonna have Arabia. I'm not going to go as far as to say that this might be D3rp's kryptonite from the map pool, but it's certainly going to favor StrayDog. Love to see the ad squad, Fluffy Bunny as well. For anybody who might be new to the channel, we have an emote actually for non-subs to show their support. Whenever they get to watch a commercial, you can just spam the ad squad emote on the chat. And that is just as, you know, as good as... Well, maybe not as good as subscribing. Subscribing is always going to be better, but commercials actually do amount to a very substantial amount of income for my channel, so I always appreciate anybody who supports my content by watching a few ads. So we have a dedicated emote for all of them. It's a free one as well, of course. Only non-subs get ads. But anyway, let's take a look at the civilizations over here, the map generation for game number 3. Starting with the blue player, StrayDog's gonna be making use of Vikings, which means he's gonna get 20% extra HP on infantry units. He will get free wheelbarrow, free handcart in the field and castle ages respectively. And then in addition to that, we have a few extra bonuses that are going to favor the blue player on water maps or hybrid maps so much more than on land maps, of course. That's going to be related to navy production and the cost of docks. Meanwhile, for D3rp, on the other hand, he's playing with Burgundians, and now this is a civilization that's going to have a lot more bonuses that will be useful on a map like this. However, the extra resources that StrayDog's going to be getting in just from getting free wheelbarrow, free handcart is so good that it's just a single bonus that's going to make the Vikings so freaking strong. And certainly a force to be reckoned with on any map, not just hybrid or water maps. D3rp playing with Burgundians will get a 40% for discount on eco upgrades that he gets access to one each earlier, so you can potentially go for double bit axe, horse collar already in the village, and you can see that he's going for it. Besides that, we'll also see for Mr. D3rp civilization 25% higher attack on gunpowder units, as well as access to the cavalier upgrade in the castle age and a 50% discount on stable upgrades. For the team bonus, finally, Burgundians will also have gold income and food income from relics as opposed to just gold income. And let's go and take a look at the map generation next, starting with the bull player. And we'll see that Mr. StrayDog, he's got a beautiful main goal on the back. Absolutely fantastic. Secondary goals are going to be both of these very much forward from StrayDog, so not ideal. It's going to be very hard for him to protect this as well. And then taking a look at the stone, he's got the main stone force. That's not ideal for sure, but he's got a civilization that is not really going to be banking on castles too much. Meanwhile, the secondary stone over here towards the southeast is going to be super far away from the TC as well, so a few walls from here towards the TC would allow him to secure his base, right? Something like this would be good enough for him to secure the gold. Good enough for him to not really secure the wood over here, because we could still get some pressure coming in from, let's say, the red player if you were to go for a tower over here, right? This is not going to be secure, but it's unlikely we're going to see something like this, so long as he's able to hold on against melee units, which is what we're most likely not going to see from Burgundians. It's going to be fine. Meanwhile, taking a look at D3rp's map generation, on the other hand, what do we get? For the red player, we're going to have the main goal forward. The secondary goals are on the back end to the side. But very far away from the DC, and this gold is not looking as good, so StrayDog's map seems to be a little bit better already. As is. One thing that I do like from D3rp's map generation, though, is that it's going to be a little bit easier for him to secure resources if he goes for the walls. From this wall line to this wall line, then potentially here, right? And here. And if he goes for the walls like this, then he effectively secures this, and that is so good. Especially against Vikings, you are expecting the blue player to go for range units at some point. So if you get the walls like this, as opposed to this, then this wall line is completely secure. Otherwise, we could see the bull player bring the units over here, right? A few archers perhaps, and then from here push the villagers away from the wood. Oh, a fourth barracks going in for StrayDog though. Who needs to play this game conventionally? Damn, that means that he's gonna be completely exposed back home though. He's not gone for the walls. He's not gonna be able to go for Spearman. If D3rp starts making a play for scouts, which he's going for, he's already going up on 21 population, 20 villages, it's going to be scouts. Well, StrayDog might end up taking a lot of losses if D3rp is able to defend against the archers over here without having to keep the scouts at home. We'll see. There we are. Yeah, better wood lines for the red player for sure. We have a hill advantage over there for the scout. He could have tried to take the village down. In the end, he's not going to do it. And yeah, well, the archer range is already out, so StrayDog. He's going for a tower. This is a beautiful move. Beautiful move for the wood player. And red, he doesn't need to get vision of the tower coming up to know what's coming his way. He already saw the villagers, so he should be expecting a tower to come up over here, right? Doesn't seem to realize about it. Doesn't seem to be prioritizing town watch either. So it seems like this is going to be kind of a rude awakening situation for D3rp. Yeah, there we go. He's going for an outpost, Will. Surprise, my man. The tower comes down before the outpost finishes getting built, and that's going to be enough to push the majority of the villages away from the wood. The only villages which will still be able to work over here are going to be so inefficient because of the distance they have to get through in order to even deposit the resources. And when they go to drop the wood off, they will end up taking a lot of damage. So this is not something that he can just keep on doing for the foreseeable future. This is very high risk, and he might end up losing the villages over here if he doesn't go for a different source of wood.
Have a good Christmas. Thanks for the content.
Anonymous! Is anyone going to take credit for this? Is anyone going to claim the tip? Thank you so much for the 10 bucks tip. It's very much appreciated. And I will have a very nice Christmas, I'm very sure. It's gonna be great, guys. And next year, it was me, yeah. The kappa certainly makes it official. And yeah, next year is going to be even more so. Full of content, and it's going to be amazing. The future of Age of Empires 2, for viewers and content creators alike, is looking very bright. Thank you so much for the follows as well, guys. Very much appreciated. Welcome, everyone. I know a lot of you are still sticking around from Dave's raid, right? Nice defense for D3rp. So far, he's managed to avoid taking any losses. And this is remarkable, right? Especially with the pressure that StrayDog was putting over here. D3rp is, for the most part, stable. They're not losing a lot of HP on several of the villagers though, but none of these have gone down ultimately, and he's managed to find a different source of wood. StrayDog could potentially send the villagers towards the south. He's got enough stone already to go for yet another tower. So if he was to bring the villagers over, let me take a look to see if D3rp already has town watch. Alright, so he would notice the villagers coming down the south over here. But if StrayDog sent as much as one villager, he's going to send 3. But if he sent as much as one villager over here just to try and get a tower up probably around this area, that would be fantastic, right? Should be able to push all the villagers away from the wood. Where is he going to go for it though? Here? He could potentially try to go for it over here. That's a little bit riskier. Let me take a look to see if he knows about the outpost. He doesn't know about the outpost, so he runs the risk of going full greed over here and getting spotted. But it's not even going to be because of the outpost. It's the skirmishers that D3rp brought around the wood line. It's gonna start targeting the villagers over here. And this game sense from the red player. Well, he got caught off guard with the first tower, but sure as hell is not going to let the second tower come up. And that was a very cautious location, you know, from StrayDog to try and get the tower up over here. D3rp's going to react to this, pushes the villagers away with the skirmishers, gets a defensive tower up already. Try and deny this one. I joined in for your cast. Well, very much appreciated. I know that because of the raid, and that is a very nice pick. Who would have thought that the first villager going down this game was actually going to favor D3rp? Not me, I'll tell you. But yeah, I know that because of Dave's raid, we're probably going up the directory, right? The Age of Empires directory. Anyway, come the scouts from StrayDog. He's going for the stable back home. He's got a defensive tower coming up as well. Meanwhile, D3rp, he's got the spearmen on the way. He already has 2 spearmen out. Where are these? He's got one by the stone. He's got one by... Where's the other one? Yeah, I'm not really sure. He's gonna have a lot more. I think he's sending... Yeah, okay, so the other ones are actually going forward. Alright. It's very unlikely D3rp will be able to get the stable down over here or do too much damage with spearmen and skirmishers only. So StrayDog shouldn't really struggle too much to defend. He does need to get the quick walls up over here, though. If the skirmishers do get to the berry bushes, he might end up losing a village. That is a substantial amount of skirmishers. 4 shots is going to be enough. 4 volleys is going to be enough for him to get a villager. Here we are. Yeah, I don't think there's a command for my specs, but if you must know, I have a Ryzen 5 1600 non-X from 2017, I think. A GTX 1650 Super. So pretty aging PC at this point. And 32 gigs of RAM. I think RAM is 2666 hertz, if I'm not mistaken. Or megahertz, rather. Come to scouts. He's gonna be fine so long as D3rp does not make use of the spearmen. But D3rp is paying attention over there, so it's gonna be fine. I do remember, is there a way to check their APM so far in this match? Yes, there is a way to check their APM so far in this match, and I know why you're saying that, because D3rp is freaking Speedy Gonzalez. Check this out. 150 APM! Game effective APM. Currently, D3rp is an incredibly quick player. We actually talked about this after game number 1 when I started casting this series originally yesterday before switching over to Husiel versus Levi. And yeah, it's amazing. Usually you're not going to kind of relate high APM to clowns, but yeah, this goes to show that things might not be the way they look sometimes. And you can't judge a clown by his wig. Yeah, it's incredible. Cassette is on the way for StrayDog though. D3rp's getting very close, so both players will be on their way up. The difference is not going to be too big. It's probably going to be more like 25 seconds perhaps. There we go. By the way, guys, do let me know if the stream title is properly updated. I think it should be. This is T9T Titans League. You can do exclamation mark TTL to get more information as you've done so. And big shout out, of course, to T9T for putting this tournament together, and his team, the people working behind the scenes as well to make this possible. Otherwise, we wouldn't really have these series to cast, right? In the end, the Castle Age is on the way for both these players. The head start to it is going to be substantial for StrayDog. He's got about 35 seconds faster uptime, I think, compared to D3rp. And he's starting to collect some stones, so he'll be able to go for a castle at some point. Once again, this is not really something that he's playing towards. The Vikings are not a civilization that are going to need a bunch of castles, right? They are not going to be a civilization to bank on their unique unit or unique upgrades, for instance. Although chieftains could come in quite handy. But he will have enough to go for extra TCs though at the very least. And he's already got into the castle age. He's not going for the extra TCs just yet. The stone is there, but the wood is not. And D3rp, on the other hand, D3rp is certainly wants to make a play for the castle. After all, the Cousillers are just so good for Burgundians. Alright, extra TC's on the way. Well, just the one though. He ended up selling 100 of the stone to buy a little bit of wood. Got the second TC up over here. D3rp is gonna be the first player to try and make a play for economy over here. StrayDog is just banking on the fact that he gets wheelbarrow and handgun for free. to stay competitive for economy. Let's take a look at calorie economy time so far. It's favored in StrayDog by a lot. It's not even close. Half an hour extra calorie economy time. That's going to amount in an ideal world for about 600 extra resources. StrayDog should have been able to get up to this point so far, right? And it's not only the free upgrades that he does not need to pay for and he's going to benefit from the get-go. I'm talking about wheelbarrow and handcart, but also because he does not need to spend the resources or the time researching the upgrades. By the time D3rp goes for handcart as well, that's going to be 55 seconds plus 75 seconds from wheelbarrow, right? He's going to fall behind by 3 villagers and change. By 5 villagers and change, sorry. And yeah, StrayDog. StrayDog is still ahead in work count. Not anymore. D3rp has just surpassed him. And that's coming in from the fact that we had the second TC come up a little bit earlier for D3rp. This is just playing catch up though. Having the same work count over here does not mean that the economy is the same for D3rp. StrayDog still has 1 extra upgrade, handcart. And he has not spent anywhere near as many resources going for an extra TC. Actually paying for the extra villagers, right? Because he already had a higher villager count. So still looking pretty strong for the bull player. Nice conversion over there. The Mon goes down ultimately. StrayDog's push. Still looking very strong. You take a look at the minimap and every blinking dot's gonna be around D3rp's side of the map for the most part. Yeah. Four castle on the way now for StrayDog. Meanwhile, D3rp. He's got a castle. He's not really been going for Custille though. Was actually having quite handy against the pikemen. Instead, this guy's just the knights roaming around. Might be able to get a villager down over here. We'll see. Not quite. StrayDog's defense is very strong as well. If you're in D3rp's position though, you gotta be feeling good because of the extra TC. If you take a look at his scouting information, he doesn't know that there is a second TC for StrayDog. So if you're in D3rp's position, you're like going with your knights forward, roaming around over here, and you're saying, you know what? I'm looking good. I'm going to add a third TC over here. I'm going to get ahead in economy, and I'm going to play this one for the late game. After all, we know the Vikings are there, not going to scale the best. However, StrayDog does have the second TC. And he's actually not really falling behind the work count. There's only 1 villager behind, but this, of course, could turn around with just a few villager picks over here. StrayDog's able to get some. And because the bull player has been the one putting pressure the most part, he's still definitely looking the strongest. Gather economy time, still significantly higher. And it's gone from half an hour of extra gather economy time, just a few minutes ago from StrayDog, to an hour and a half of extra gather economy time for the blue player so far. And this is without a third TC. He's just been able to keep up really well because D3rp isn't able to keep all 3 TCs working at all times. By the looks of it. Well, not really. His LTC time is actually not too high. So I guess it's probably just the fact that the 30C came up a little bit later. From this point onwards, sure, the red player is going to start pulling ahead in work account, but remember, he still needs to go for handcart to catch up in terms of economy. And that's going to cost also about 2 villages worth of TC working time, so we'll see. Seems like Imperial Age is going to be on the way for StrayDog very soon. This is one of the things the Vikings are the best at, right? Fast imping, potentially into Arbalisters. This time around, he's not going for any archer units. He's got just knights. Not the best for Vikings, of course. One of the worst civilizations to go for knights, of course. While D3rp, on the other hand, does not seem to be particularly close to going up to the Imperial Age. Does have a 40C on the way, though. And once again, this goes to show. D3rp is starting to pull ahead in work account by a little bit. But this is coming at a cost. He had to pay for the extra TCs, the extra farms, the extra villagers he's trained so far. And it's going to take some time to pay off. Eventually, that's going to put him in a position to significantly outproduce StrayDog once he gets to the Imperial Age, you know, and the game kind of stabilizes in the later stages of the game. The Burgundians are going to be better, but up until that moment arrives, StrayDog is going to be looking stronger. Getting to the Imperial Age earlier, He's got a very strong economy still because of handcart, even if the villager count is fairly low. Start putting some pressure. Just gotta be careful though, not to start taking a lot of losses over here to the Coustier as we see D3rp is roaming around, is gonna try to come in. He cannot do it. StrayDog pushes the red player away with the pikeman over here. Yeah, and D3rp cannot do any damage over here, so StrayDog's gonna be fine, and he does get the third TC up in the next few seconds. With the 4 castle, should be able to already start trimming this one down. Once he gets there, of course. D3rp nowhere near having enough resources to go up to the Imperial Age himself. Not at all. Here we go. So far, so good. Trebuchet should be on the way, and it is. We have 2 trebuchets on the way. There are a few things that he can go for over here. Obviously, trebs are fantastic, but then he also has a little bit of a hill over here. So if he places a trebuchet on the hill, that's going to allow him to take the castle down faster, albeit at the cost of castle protection. He does have the pikeman though, so I would definitely prefer for him to go for the trebuchets on the hill. He doesn't seem to agree, so he's just going to unpack those right next to the castle. And then forward, D3rp's going to have a lot of Coustier over here. The second group of units, as he's been baiting these pikemen away from StrayDog's base. Now he's trying to strike with a second group of units. He's unable to do so for the most part. Gets 2 villages down, but that's about it. But that's a lot of villages coming forward from D3rp. And this is very similar to what we saw in the previous game. StrayDog is up in the Imperial Age, yes. He's gonna have the trebuchet come out over here. Most likely now will be the player to take the first castle down in the game. However, D3rp is in the castle age and going for full aggression. He'll be on his way to the Imperial Age very soon, but he's got a 4 castle coming up, and this one is not going to have enough range to target both DCs, but he's respecting the towers. I think if he went for the castle a few tiles towards the right hand side, towards the northeast, probably around here, he would still be able to build a castle from the left-hand side. But, and still target both DCs, right? But it's fine. After he gets to the Imperial Age, he'll be able to go for trebuchets anyway, so if he can just take one TC down with the castle and then the other one with the trebuchets, that's gonna be good anyway. Champion transition for StrayDog. He's got long swords indeed. D3rp is struggling to defend himself over here despite having a much stronger villager count. Once again, that's going to take some time to pay off. And instead, he's going to focus on for the most part on trying to put pressure up. Yeah. With the castle already out, that TC should be going down eventually if he targets it. The towers are going down first. And that's going to leave StrayDog on only 1 TC over here. Well, 2 TCs technically to protect his economy with, right? He can only garrison out to 30 villages, sorry, with both those TCs. So given the eco count over here for StrayDog, D3rp might be onto something. If he's able to keep the Coustier alive, and then takes this TC down, he can come in with Coustier alone and get so many villages down. StrayDog can only garrison 30 villages over there. He's got a lot more, of course. Push from StrayDog continues as he's taking the TC and the castle down. He's going to target the next castle. With all 3 trebuchets, he's in a fantastic spot over here. Meanwhile, D3rp finally gets to the Imperial Age himself. He's got a good amount of stone to potentially try and keep the castle up. On the left-hand side. His forward castle is not producing any trebuchets, and he's not queuing treb whatsoever. Instead, he's going for chemistry, so it seems like he's going to try and make a play for bombard cannons. If he wanted to do that, he's gonna need a 4 siege workshop as well. Here comes the Coustier raid that I was hoping for. We're gonna see a bunch of villagers going down over here from the Wu player. Around the farms, a lot of the farmers die to the units, and the rest of the units are going to be completely idle. So you take a look at StrayDog's economy, and he's got not only a much lower worker count compared to D3rp, but you take into account the amount of vital villagers, and he's got about 40% of his economy idle for the last minute or so. And it's actually higher than that, because if you take a look at the worker efficiency for the last minute, he's gone down to less than 40%. StrayDog, that is. With a much smaller villager count. While Derp, on the other hand, he's got a much higher worker count. Which puts his economy in a much better position, where the worker efficiency is the same for both these players, right? Flemish and GG, that'd be something for sure. He doesn't have enough villagers over here. Certainly not enough of an economy to replenish his villagers after the Flemish Revolution upgrade, though. But what I was advocating for StrayDog on the left-hand side, we're taking the TC down with the castle, and then just trying to take the rest of the TCs down with CDA, and just taking the villagers down that wouldn't fit inside the TCs, is actually kind of overpowered by StrayDog's push over here, with the trebuchets taking all the castles down, taking all the TCs down from Derp, and actually striping the red player out of defenses for the most part, as we see Derp going for one kind of contingency castle over here. That's going to be the only protection that he's got for his economy left. Meanwhile, he's got another TC coming up down the south, but this is not good, of course. He doesn't want to have to migrate his economy across the map. That's going to be extremely inefficient. He wants to try and be the one putting pressure, not be the one reacting. StrayDog managed to stabilize himself for the most part. We still have Sanku CA over here taking some villages down, but it's only about 6 units left for Derp, so it shouldn't take too long for StrayDog to clean these units up eventually. And it's going to be now the blue player, the one to put pressure up, right? In the end, it's not going for champion though. He stopped upgrading the units after getting to Lone Source, and it's just going to be pikeman for him. I don't think he's gotten chieftains. I'm gonna have to take a look at it. Give me a second. Alright, Mr. StrayDog. He does not have chieftains. No, he doesn't. Another forecast on the way for StrayDog. And it's a base trade! There is migrating a substantial portion of his economy towards the south. He's gonna start stealing the resources StrayDog left behind. The secondary gold. Some of the stone. Well, the stone runs out right away, basically. But what a game. What an interesting one. Absolutely fantastic. You know, you take a look at the elo of both these players. Somebody would have to do exclamation mark elo Derp and exclamation mark elo StrayDog. And you would be expecting Arabia to be a fairly one-sided game favoring the bull player over here. But Derp has managed to keep himself in the game. And now he's actually stabilizing. Yeah, Derp's gotta be with a 3 for an E. Otherwise, it's going to match the highest elo player whose name contains the query term, the argument, right? So yeah, this is not their player that we're looking for. There we go. Yeah, 2K1. 2K1 for Derp. Gotta keep in mind that a lot of that is also on Arena. And yeah, the fact that he's able to hold on over here on Arabia against StrayDog is fantastic. Dropped 200 elo in like 2 weeks. Rip. Let's see what it is for StrayDog. He was 2K4, I believe. Yeah, a little bit higher than 2K4 actually. Not really sure what his all-time high must have been. Rank 34 right now, damn. What is Derp's rank? 212. Gee. Remember when being 2K would be enough for you to be at the top 100? Yeah. Long gone are the days. Little rate of 10 from StrayDog. Derp's looking much stronger from this position. And from this moment on in the game, the Burgundians are going to be the better civilization. Remember that Vikings, they do not really scale too well. Derp's done a really good job putting up a counter and bringing up the paper to StrayDog's rock, so to say. By going for the hand cannoneer over here, is going to be able to defend himself against whatever infantry StrayDog goes for. It's going to be able to utilize these units for raiding as well, so that's really, really good. Meanwhile, for the Viking player, we have guard towers already, which are fantastic. We're going to need the trebuchets though for there to keep on pushing over there, unless he wants to try and take those down with a hand cannoneer, which he would be able to do, by the way, but it's probably going to come at a cost of a few units. Once again, thank you for the follows, guys. Very much appreciated. There we go. Yeah, you know, he's defending with Custille. He's got a good amount of hand cannoneers still. And from this point onward, so long as both players play their cards right, there shouldn't really be a way back for StrayDog. In this one, right? He's got elite berserks. Yes. What is that going to do against hand cannoneer? Not too much. We need more units though for D3rp. He doesn't really have too many right now. Yeah, because he's got the army split into different groups. So he's got one on the left-hand side, he's got another group on the right-hand side. This certainly makes it a little harder for him to take the engagements, but it seems like he will still be able to clean out the berserks regardless. And he's going to start bringing the trebuchets forward, so he's going to start putting some extra pressure against StrayDog. Much higher population for D3rp. Keeps on idling a lot of the economy from StrayDog. Hold on. And where are the trebuchets? They're staying here though. He needs to march on. He needs to start targeting the castles. StrayDog, if he's going just for berserks, D3rp already has the units that he needs to defend the trebuchets with a hand cannoneer. So there we are. The trebuchets are marching on forward finally. As we see, the units come up. StrayDog's going to make use. The berserks over here to try and raid instead of trying to go after the trebuchets. To be fair though, because of the hand cannoneer, he wouldn't really be able to take the trebuchets down. So there we go. This is still a very, very favorable position for the red player. And I can't believe my eyes as D3rp looks like he's going to take him number 3 here to get the lead in the series on Arabia against StrayDog. Much higher elo player. You know, D3rp is certainly showing everything in case anyone had any doubts that elo is going to be nothing but an indication. Is not going to be end all be all. Of course. And it's amazing. Once again, from this point onwards, so long as D3rp plays his cards right, there isn't a way back for StrayDog. The civilization for the blue player is simply not good enough in these stages of the game. Vikings really shine in the mid to late, early imp, right? Once your opponent has had the chance to catch up for the economy, and you know, you get well into the Imperial Age, Vikings are not the civilization to shine with, for sure. And we see both the castles go down like almost immediately. He's trying to take the trebuchets down, and he's actually able to take one down. He's got 3 trebuchets left, so he ended up losing one himself, but he can pack these up, go forward, take this castle down as well, and then that's going to leave StrayDog with only TCs to defend himself with, which of course will not be enough against Custille, would not be enough against even light cavalry, which D3rp is favoring right now. And even the hand cannoneer, honestly, are going to be able to take the TCs down because of the range. A little bit stubborn over here, throwing too many units to the trebuchet. Just take the units down, man. Take the villagers, the berserks. There is no rush. Trev can go down eventually. Yeah, there we go. Like now, like right now, right? Just take it down now. Yeah, beautiful. So we should see the red player pack the trails up. Move forward, take the castle down. Back home. The rage from the remaining berserks from StrayDog. He will only be able to produce from a single castle, of course, so it's not ideal. And where are the traps? There we go. They're just gonna keep on marching on. And from this point on, StrayDog is dropping population very close to 105. It wouldn't be surprising to see the Bull player call the GG. What would be surprising would be to see StrayDog somehow be able to come back into this game. Seems very unlikely though, so this castle is going down very soon. The guard tower is going to crumble next. And yeah, like how we are roaming around already, so Derp's gonna start getting the raids going. Very soon StrayDog is going to drop even under 100 population. That's usually a threshold after which pro players call the GG whenever they have been trying to hold on to the game for longer than they probably should. And indeed, StrayDog does go under 100 population now. I think it's probably just holding on because of the castle. The moment the castle goes down, I think that's going to be the moment StrayDog calls the GG, because honestly, without berserks over here, what is it going to do? Just pikemen? No way. Arbalesters? Yeah, I don't think so. Still had the score. Yeah. Very timely message over there. The game is very much favoring there for sure. Do you have any gold left, by the way? Players are collecting from somewhere, so yes, we do. 1 hour into the game, there's still plenty of gold around the map. Oh, there we go. All right. And the GG in the end comes up before the cast crumbles over here. It's fine. He was already pretty much dead. So Derp is going to be the one against all odds over here to take the lead in the series with a 2-1 score. We'll see what we get for game number 4 in a moment. Let's go through the achievements first though. And let's take a look, starting with Derp. The KD favors the red player by quite a lot. Over 3-to-2 KD ratio for our friend the clown. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Derp as well, collecting about 500 extra resources. That is not really a lot, and definitely not what you would be expecting given how many extra villagers Derp had to work with, especially towards the end of the game, right, after he was able to catch up. But StrayDog's economy was very strong for a very big portion of the game rather, because precisely free wheelbarrow and free handcart. For society, we see a stronger villager max count over here for Derp as well, and he was the one to take the fewest loss, the fewest losses over here. So let's go back. And welcome everyone to game number 4 of the series. Love to see the ad squad every time. It's fantastic. We play commercial breaks only in between games, or in the case of recorded series during the achievements, right? So you don't miss any of the games, of course. And playing commercials also allows us to disable pre-rolls ads. So whenever you want to watch the game that I am casting and you jump into the channel, you don't have to wait for the ads to play through, and you can just start watching from the get-go. Many of you might have spotted the pattern already. I do have an ad notice that I play. If you're watching on YouTube, you're not going to be aware of it, but if you're watching this on Twitch, there's going to be a little notification sound that plays out whenever we are in the achievements or going back to the other scene, right? That's going to give you a heads up that the commercial is coming in case you want to mute the stream for a moment. I know some people will like to do that. For game number 4 though, we have Atacama. This version of Atacama for this tournament is going to have 4 lakes. It's going to have 4 ponds over here, very similar to what we have with Cross, sorry. So one in each cardinal point, right? One up in the north, one down the south, west, and east. Besides that, it's going to be a pretty standard Atacama generation, which means the majority of the wood is going to be concentrated at the center of the map. Meanwhile, around the rest, of the map, around the desert, you're going to have much smaller clumps of trees, which won't really yield too much wood. There we go. For civilizations, StrayDog's making a play with Kumans this one. And that means that he gets a 75 with discount on archer ranges and stables. He's gonna have the ability to go for a second TC in the field age, as well as the ability to go for siege workshops in the field age, from where he can only train battering rams. Besides that, Kumans will also have, for the team bonus, 33% extra HP on the palisade walls. They do not get access to stone walls, of course, and I feel like there's something that I'm forgetting about the Kumans over here. Oh yeah, they get access to the Captain upgrade in the Castle Age. For their civilization, on the other hand, the red player is going to make use of Lithuanians, which is a very strong one for a map like this, for hybrid maps, where he begins with 150 extra food. He's going to get 10% faster movement skirm and spearland units, as well as 1 extra attack on knights and lightship units per each relic garrison, up to 4 relics, up to +4 attack. Which more so than compensates for the fact that he does not get access to Blast Furnace. There we are. The team bonus for Lithuanians will give him 20% faster work in monasteries, which makes it a little bit smoother for him to try and go after the relics. And we already see the docks coming out for the players. So on the right hand side, we have the first one from D3rp. He's in between the east and south ponds, so he has to make a choice, and he does go for the one on the right hand side. Meanwhile, StrayDog is mostly to the north, so it's going to be kind of a no-brainer for him to go for the north pond over here. He already has a dock over there. Nobody seems to be sending any sneaky villages trying to get a sneaky dock up that I can see. For the map generation, and taking a look at StrayDog's map generation first, we're going to see that the blue player's got the main goal on the right-hand side. He's got the main stone on the left-hand side towards the north, and we have the secondary goal towards the southwest. Right, and then the secondary stone is so far away, though, very, very much far. This is not the best map generation that I have seen on Atacama whatsoever. Usually, you want to see a player get one of the resources closer to the center, so you can potentially go for a single tower to provide protection to more than one resource at a time. Of course, that's going to be wood and whatever 4 resources you have, right? Meanwhile, taking a look at the map generation for D3rp, on the other hand, we're going to see that the red player, he's got the main goal on the left-hand side, the secondary goal is on the far right, very, very far away. And then the main stone is going to be forward, and the secondary stone is going to be on the left-hand side, very far away. So this one is a little bit better in the sense that he could potentially go for a single tower over here to provide protection to both the wood line and the stone over there, but yeah, you would probably prefer to have access to gold in any case. This is not looking particularly great for anybody, really. Oh, there is a villager coming in from D3rp. It's gonna try to be sneaky about it. Let's take a look at the line of sight of StrayDog. I think he's... Let's take a look. So if we see the red player bring a dock up over here, I think he manages to get it up without getting spotted. But anywhere within the line of sight, of course, the wool player is going to be kind of awkward. Let me take a look to see what D3rp's point of view is like, to see if he knows about the dock over here, if he knows about the fishing ships. He knows, so he's going to try to go as far east as possible to try and get a dock up over here, I would imagine. Let's see. Let's get into the village. He's got the resources, go for it. He's paying attention to the scout by the looks of it. Alright. He was trying to get the quick walls up. Yeah, and he's getting away with it. Unbelievable. No sneaky villages coming in for StrayDog, and D3rp, with his gigantic brain, is playing the hell out of this map. While StrayDog, on the other hand, he's going for a second TC at the center, will provide some protection to the lumberjacks, of course. Plus, he already has a lumber camp on the left-hand side, so he's going to have redundancy over here, which is always great. He's not really secure any of the golds yet. And D3rp, well, he's got the fire galley on the way. We take a look at StrayDog, and he's got no idea, man. This is so close. 2 tiles away from actually spotting this. Yeah. There we go. A little bit of pressure from StrayDog. It's unlikely he'll be able to get anything done over here other than just getting some either villager time out of StrayDog. This is very interesting to see from D3rp though. This only works if he goes unnoticed when going for the dock up over here, and if he manages to get a majority of the fishing ships down. Now StrayDog is not really going for any navy, so it seems like D3rp's going to end up getting full north control. He's got 2 additional galleys coming up. This kind of push delays him, otherwise he would have been able to fast castle. And in my opinion, fast castling against Cumans is the strongest way to fight against the civilization. Fast castling into full aggression, try and prevent them from getting too far ahead in work account, from allowing them to take advantage of the extra villagers, right? The longer the game goes, the better it's going to be for Cumans. Up until we get to very late stages, but like in the Castle Age, early imp, Cumans are going to shine in D3rp. Yeah, by going for the dock forward over there instead. Kind of the latest Castle Age. And fortunately for him, it does work out in the sense that he does end up taking all the fishing ships down, right? And he's going to be able to go for extra fishing ships over here, which will allow him to try and keep up with worker count against StrayDog somewhat, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the second TC is so much more valuable over here than having the second dock. There was only so many fishing ships they're gonna go for, right? We'll see. Another tower on the way for StrayDog. He already got the first one over here to push D3rp away from the first wool line he was collecting from. Now he's got this one up, and if we take a look at the range, he doesn't have enough range. But if he gets fletching, then that's going to make the range big enough for him to push the villagers away from here. Just gonna keep on trying to trash StrayDog, that is. D3rp will be on his way to the Castle Age very soon. And so far, yeah, he's been able to keep up with work account pretty well for the most part. By the time he does get to the Castle Age though, that's going to result in a villager lead of about 16 for StrayDog, or a worker lead of about 16 for StrayDog. As now the bull player is not only producing villagers, but he's also gone for another dock on the left hand side, very far away. Beautiful. You know what? D3rp's looking alright for now. It's all going to be dependent on what he does once he gets to the Castle Age, of course, because StrayDog, we were calling a worker lead of about 16 by the time D3rp got to the Castle Age, right? And that's extended to 13 so far. D3rp's still about 40 seconds away from the Castle Age, and StrayDog is producing only from 1 TC because he's going for wheelbarrow. If he hadn't gone for wheelbarrow, he would already be about 16 workers ahead. So this is actually kind of the same. He is going to be 14 plus wheelbarrow. Is really good. Really, really good for StrayDog. It's even going to be higher than that because of the freaking fishing ships. There you go, Castle Age is here for D3rp. This is the moment, man. He's got to start putting pressure from this point onwards. The only way back into this game for D3rp is to go all out and prevent StrayDog from capitalizing on the stronger economy he's got. And how does StrayDog capitalize on the stronger economy he's got? Well, simply by surviving on a higher worker count until he gets to the Castle Age. At that point, he'll be able to go for a castle himself. He'll be able to start going for kept checks. He'll be able to start going for knights. He'll be able to start putting aggression himself as well. While D3rp's gonna be playing defensive and offensive at the same time if it comes down to that. In any case, at this point in time, though, StrayDog's actually able to do a lot of damage over here. One villager has gone down already from D3rp, and it seems like it's going to be 2 villagers down the ground over there for the red player. You can see them sinking into the ground. Meanwhile, StrayDog's gonna keep on roaming around. D3rp realizes the need to get some defenses up himself, so he will go for a tower. No extra TCs coming out for Derp. That'll be only playing catch up against a player who's had a much higher work count for a much longer time as well. So instead, it's just going to be full aggression from Derp. This is exactly what I want to see. Ideally, I would have liked to see a fast castle into a castle drop from Derp, but there's only so much you can get to. With the limited amount of economy he had to work with, right, until he got to the castle age, so just having some pressure against TCs over here is still pretty good. In the end, it's not the TC that's researching the castle age from StrayDog, and if it was, I'm pretty sure that the bull player will be able to keep this one up until he got there. And we need more magnets, though. A single one's not going to suffice. There we go, Castle Age here for StrayDog. And he does not have enough stone to go for a castle. Instead, we're gonna see a 30C coming up on the left-hand side for StrayDog. Meanwhile, Derp is finally getting some raids going. He's got the knights roaming around the map. Up in the north, he's gonna defend the mountains against the step lancers. He's gonna be able to do it. Not quite. One of the mountains is going down for sure. It's gonna be left and only one mana left over here. StrayDog. Well, if he's able to get a few extra knights out over here, should be able to defend against Derp without too many issues. Let's take a look at the south. Derp's raid is not really achieving much of anything anymore. StrayDog doesn't really have much economy exposed. Just the villagers he garrisons inside the tower, and that seems to be about it. Yeah, 30C over here for the bull player. If he was not already far ahead, or if he was not ahead enough in economy, well, now he should be in a position to get significantly further ahead. Here we go. Good defense for StrayDog. As expected, he's able to keep the TC up just fine. He's got a defensive situation coming up, so he can be thinking of mangonels, right? And while the second TC is only now coming up for there, this is so late. Unfortunately, the all-out push that I was kind of hoping to see from there was not really gotten him much of anything, right? Like, he's gone for the 4 siege workshop, for the 4 monasteries, the 4 stables, and everything over here, but he doesn't really have too much to show for it. 9 knights? Yes. Where are they? He's taking losses to the step lancers over here. 2 villages going down, and the rest of the knights? I see 3 forward for Derp. Where are the rest of the knights? In the middle of nowhere. Defensively. Yeah, and split into several small groups, which is not ideal. Up until this point, StrayDog has been able to pull a 2-hour lead on gather economy time against Derp, and that should amount to about 400 resources in an ideal world. Given the fact that the efficiency is actually higher for StrayDog, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see that actually be a little bit higher for him. We can take a look at it in a moment. Derp's conversions over here clutch it up. He will end up taking the majority of the knights. Meanwhile, we'll see another conversion coming up over there for StrayDog. He does get it. He's able to defend himself just fine as well. Hey, Rob Chang. Hi. Welcome back. And yeah, redemption is on the way now. So Derp's gonna try and make a play for the buildings. I don't know, man. StrayDog's been able to stabilize really well, you know? The military count is no longer that much higher for There's only 1 extra military unit. So not ideal. Down the south. Seems like Derp has managed to stabilize himself for the most part, but of course, he is not the one to have to stabilize. He's the one to have to put pressure and to take this game, to pry this game out of StrayDog's tiny paws. And so far, they've struggled to do so. StrayDog is looking like the top dog right now, with a much higher population, not only in general, but also for economy. Because he's getting already to a position where he's gonna start making a transition to a heavier military production, we're gonna see the military count over here going in favor of the bull player very soon as well. And then from that point onwards, it's going to require some sort of miracle for D3rp actually to come back into this game, right? He has not been collecting relics, for instance, so he's not really been taking advantage of one of his civilization bonuses, one of the strongest bonuses of his civilization. He's not been able to stay ahead in military count by too much, and man, the damage over here coming out from StrayDog's 3 knights is ridiculous. A lot of villages went down over there, and even though the knights might end up getting cleaned up over here, the damage has been done already. D3rp is down to 51 workers, and I think this worker count is actually kind of comparable to what it was when he got to the Castle Age, right? In the first place? Huh. Anyway, so many viewers. A lot of people are coming over from Dave's stream. We were casting Double Cup 3 earlier. Dave and I, not together. We were not co-casting, but we were both covering the series. And then after it was over, he raided. So a lot of people are still coming from Dave's stream, and I would imagine some people are probably noticing the stream a little bit more because of the higher viewership. I would imagine in the Age of Empires directory, the channel is ranking up a little bit higher. 50 worker count for D3rp. Compare this to 1 minute ago, he's actually gone down in worker count. That is definitely not ideal. And StrayDog on the other hand is getting very close to 100 population, 100 villagers. Rather, he was already over 100 population. And you know what? D3rp has had enough. He does not want to keep on going. So, game 4, my boys, goes in favor of StrayDog, who will equalize the series over here. We'll take a look at what we get for game number 5. But first off, let's go through the achievements. And let me see the ad squad over here show some support. Well, we'll go through the achievements and load into game number 5. These are recorded games, so there is no downtime. For military, we have a better KD for StrayDog by quite a lot. It's going to be better than 9 to 8 even. For economy, we have a stronger economy for StrayDog 2 by a lot, collecting about 7,000, close to 7,000 extra resources, more like 6,700 extra resources. And we'll see for society also a higher villager max count for StrayDog by quite a lot. We see a lower amount of villager losses for StrayDog as well, losing 11 villagers throughout the game. Meanwhile, D3rp, while being the player with a smaller economy, ended up taking the most losses as well, losing 21 workers. And APM, well, APM certainly going to favor D3rp every time. But this just goes to show, of course, that speed's not everything. There's a lot that StrayDog did right over here that goes beyond how quickly he can issue commands in the game. So well done, 2-2. Game number 5 is coming up in a moment. Let's go back and hopefully jump into it without too much delay. And here we are, guys, in the last game of this series. We'll see StrayDog on the right hand side playing with Gujaras. We'll see D3rp on the left hand side playing with Bohemians. And for these civilizations, we'll see that the bull player will get the ability to garrison herdables inside mills. He will begin with 2 additional berry bushes underneath the TC, and then on top of that, we also have for the Gujaras 10, actually 20, 30, and 40% higher bonus damage from mounted units in the feudal castle and imperial ages. While for the team bonus, the civilization is also going to get 25% faster training camel and elephant type units. Bohemians for D3rp will provide instead free mining camp upgrades. He's going to get 25% higher bonus damage from spearline units, as well as access to chemistry and hand cannoneer in the castle age. And then finally, they get a 100 wood discount on blacksmiths and universities, as well as villagers that are affected by Sanctity and Fervor upgrades. The team bonus for Bohemians will give them 80% fast working markets. In a 1v1 is not really going to be that relevant unless we see the players go for something like guilds, you know, in the future, but for the time being, it's not going to be that relevant. For the map generation, starting with the Bull player, we'll see the main gold up in the north. The secondary gold is going to be on the right-hand side, and then we have berries on the back, which is good. He's got one of the stones on the back, the other stone is going to be towards the south over here. He should be able to secure this pretty easily, the berries as well, and potentially even the gold. Given that he's kind of close to the corner by going for some walls from here to here, here towards the TC, and potentially even securing this one, right? And then something like from here to here, here to here. And you could see the walls come up either like this or like this. I would certainly prefer him to go for something like this, or even better, something like this. Now, that's going to be very hard to control, right? If you end up going for the walls over here, it's possible that your opponent might be able to breach through the walls because how far away these are going to be from your economy. So ideally, if you want to go for something like this, you'll want to go for it with houses as opposed to palisades. If he does end up going for either this or this, he will end up securing the wood lines over here as well, which is going to be good. If he doesn't end up going for something like this instead, that's not going to be as good. Taking a look at the left-hand side, there's map generation instead. It's going to have the main gold spawn towards the south of the DC, kind of backish as well, so that's good. And then the secondary golds are going to be up in the north and towards the left-hand side as well. While for stone instead, we have the main, so well, one of the stones on the back, which is super nice, and then one of the stones over here towards the south. The berries are exposed for him though, for the red player that is. He did begin with 2 underneath the TC, so no, that's actually my bad, that's StrayDog. So yeah, this actually could be bad. These relics are going to be exposed. He is not quite as close to the corner of the map, I think though. I guess he could try to go for something like this if he wanted to secure his economy, maybe. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad, actually. Maybe a few houses over here would be good. And then he will be able to secure this, the stone over there, the wood lines as well, right? Yeah, we'll see. For the time being, D3rp is the only player going for water. While StrayDog instead, he's making a play for the fuel H already. It seems like he's going to ignore this, and it's very interesting to see if you're not going for the center. Usually what you expect to see on this map though is players try and make a play for militias, perhaps some sort of aggression on land that will allow them to take the fishing ships down, or potentially, you know, take or push the units around, make them a lot less efficient. He's sending the villagers though. All right. He's gonna try. What is he gonna do? He's gonna try. He doesn't have a barracks back home. He's going to go for the 4 barracks. So this is very similar to what we saw in game number 3, was it? Or game number 2? I don't recall, but game number 3. Game number 2 was 45 clearing. Game number 3 was Arabia, and we saw StrayDog go for something like this, right? So he's gonna try to go for a 4 barracks, a 4 archer range as well, and he's going for a 4 attack. No way! No way! This is going to work, is it? I guess we'll find out. There we are. And the output's coming up. Tower should be on the way in. Yes, he's going to go for the tower. No barracks, no archer ranges. He's basically going to leave us with the possibility of a tower. And that's about it. Meanwhile, D3rp is getting to the fuel H right now. It doesn't have anywhere near enough resources to try and fast castle over here. It's just going to be a standard fuel feud over here between these players. And yeah, D3rp was probably expecting some sort of aggression to come up over here. So despite the fact that he did have closer deep fish over here to collect from, in the end he's going to send... Oh, actually he didn't have vision of this. Yeah, he ended up sending the fishing ships up in the north. Tower comes up, StrayDog is going after the barracks next. And this is just this player plays. It's so good. He's so good at it. The pressure is absolutely fantastic. There is sometimes a little bit of a weak point. Nice. Quick walls over here from D3rp. He doesn't end up taking the camel down. But this usually does entail a little bit of a weak point for these players who are so good in early aggression. Because they are, for the most part, going to get most of their wins. Because they are so good at early aggression, they usually seem to kind of fall behind a little bit the longer the game goes. Once the Imperial Age, the later stages of the game, becomes more relevant, right? So you cannot blame StrayDog for trying to play it to his strengths. But if D3rp is able to stabilize over here and hold on until he gets to the Castle Age, for instance, I actually have something to work with over here against StrayDog. We'll see. 3 standing galleys already for StrayDog. He's going after the dog. We have a demolition raft on the way for D3rp. That means that he won't be able to, or he actually won't try and get water control. Instead, he's going to try to send the demo raft forward, and he's going to try to find the fishing ships. Now, this could be good, though. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. He's trying to keep the villagers together, and here comes the demo, but it goes the wrong way. We had reeds over here. So now he's roaming around, and StrayDog's getting vision of the demo raft, but it's not going to be enough for him to prevent to take a big shot over there, and it seems like it's not going to be the case, and pow! All 3 villagers down to the ground over there. That was really well played from D3rp, and while StrayDog had all the pieces together to prevent that, in the end, D3rp gets away with it. Good shot. Right hand side. A little bit of pressure coming in as well from the red player. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. You gotta appreciate the little plays, right? The little things over here. They do add up. In the end, of course, it's going to be StrayDog, the one to get full water control. At this point in time, though, he is behind by about 3 workers. He's gotten a little bit of extra idle TC time. Might have gone for Town Watch, perhaps, I think, maybe. I don't know if... Let me take a look to see if we have Loom. Both players have Loom, so... A 3 villager lead... Okay, it's gone. It's 2 villagers only. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that was, but I think it was probably just because of the fishing ships, right? He lost the fishing ships now, and StrayDog's getting extra fishing ships out himself, so he's catching up. Yeah, and it's basically just StrayDog having lost the villagers just a minute ago that kind of required him to get the fishing ships up in order to keep up with military, or actually with economy, rather. Remember, guys, after this series, we are going to cast another one. I am not really sure if that's going to be Elbiri's series, or if it's going to be Gabby's series. Gabby versus Uzi Cody. That could be good. We'll take a look. Tomorrow, we're going to provide coverage for 2 additional series. So whichever one is left, either Elbiri or Gabby's. And one more that I will be choosing by request of my audience as well. So tomorrow's stream, starting most likely 17 GMT. I will provide coverage for 2 series, one which is already going to be defined, the other one is going to be chosen by people who are around the stream at that point in time. Just so you know, in case there is a particular series from T90 Titans League that you might have wanted to see and for one reason or the other you weren't able to do so yet. Coming back to this game though, the Castle Age is coming up for both these players, and D3rp has managed to successfully take the tower down from StrayDog. Taking the outpost right now as well, and he's stabilized. Yeah, he's looking good. Despite the fact that he is 2 workers behind, he will be the first player to the Castle Age by quite a bit. And I don't see any docks coming out from there, so it's unlikely he's going to try and contest the water, which seems kind of rough. He's got stone miners, but he doesn't have anywhere near enough unless he uses a market to go for a castle. And because he doesn't have any water control, it's always risky for him to try and just make a play for center control. without any water presence, right? And StrayDog is going to try and capitalize on that. You take a look and he's going for a demolition raft already, so he's thinking ahead. He's going to want the demolition raft out and potentially the demolition ship, right? So we're going to see the war galley upgrade once StrayDog goes out to the castle edge, but he wants to keep the units forward like this so that he's able to prevent Derp from just walking over to the center and getting a castle or something out that's going to allow the red player to secure this area. So long as StrayDog is the only player with control of the water, he should be in a much better position over here, and it's going to be definitely Derp's game to win over here, right? It's going to have to, once again, pray it out of StrayDog's tiny paws. Triple Monastery for Derp. Is StrayDog a big dog or a small dog? Because I have said tiny paws already 3 times. It might actually be a German Shepherd. Maybe the paws are actually not that tiny. They're still gonna have to pry this game from StrayDog's paws though. Beautiful 4 siege workshop for StrayDog. No war galley upgrade coming up. Just the one demolition raft. We have Wallens on the way. Wheelbarrow on the way. For StrayDog, Derp's going for redemption. He knows exactly what's coming his way. He's been going for monks already, so he needs to go for this. Ideally, he wants to go for sanctity. He wants to go for fervor as well. He's got sanctity already, so that's going to affect the villagers. And fervor, he doesn't have it yet. He needs to go for it. It's going to also be kind of an eco upgrade for him too. Triple Monastery is a big water play here. Well, you know, who needs navy if you just have your opponents to convert? We'll see. Derp is a clown after all though, so monk control over here should be pretty good for the red player if you add to that the fact that his APM is incredible. Right now, over twice as high compared to StrayDog. Well, that might be enough for him to get the conversion, so he's gonna try. He's going after the siege workshop. He's got a scorpion over here. He's gonna try to go after the demo raft over there, and he's going to get it. He's not going to get it, but he got the scorpion, the new one. And then on the left-hand side, the Shrivarsha Riders are coming in though, so StrayDog's gonna stop putting a lot of pressure over here. It seems like they did not realize about it. Despite the high APM, the red players struggle to pay attention everywhere. And even now, after taking a bunch of villager losses over here, he doesn't seem to realize until it's too late, and he's already taken a lot of villager losses there. Meanwhile, the conversions on the right-hand side, of course, are going to take a lot of the red players' attention after all. If you want to be effective, and you want to be most importantly efficient with your monks, you need to get different conversions with different monks, which will require a lot of attention. There's APM right now, not quite as high anymore, man. Not quite as high anymore. Having to react over here certainly required him to tap out of his automated processes that otherwise will allow him to stay significantly ahead in APM. Conversion's coming up. There's a scorpion over there. Yeah. That was good. If StrayDog hadn't deleted the siege workshop, then the monk would have gotten an insta conversion against the scorpion. In the end, the scorpion gets converted anyway. We have too many monks over here for the scorpion to take any units down. After all, Derp's just going to reset the HP of his units, right? Bunch of villagers idle over here. We'll see how long it takes Derp to find out. He realizes right away. He does have extra golds up in the north, but once again, those are kind of exposed. We'll see if he can make it work. More stables are here, more buildings actually going down as StrayDog is forced into the lead on these. He's gonna start collecting some stone for the time being. He doesn't have enough to go for a castle, so we see instead a TC coming up at the center, but it does not seem too good to me. If the dock gets converted over here, then Derp's gonna be able to start going for his own navy, take the TC down potentially from StrayDog, but even without it, just by pushing all the navy away from StrayDog out of the water, he can go for a forecast. Now, if we take a look at the line of sight of Derp, He knows about the TC over there. He could actually go for a little bit more of an aggressive castle, right? And he will. He will. There we go. This one is going to range the TC after there gets fletching, if I'm not mistaken. Nope. He ranges it right away. Beautiful. 19 monks is insane, and it's going to keep on getting crazier and crazier, because now we have even more monks than that. 20 right now for Derp. Effectively ran out of gold though, so definitely he needs to make a play for the center. And this castle is going to provide enough protection, of course. Certainly enough to secure a lot of extra resources to potentially get a lot of extra monks. You gotta wonder though, what does Derp do to micro these monks so effectively? Does he click manually one monk at a time and then a target? Is his mouse accuracy that good? Or does he control group these units? Let's take a look at that. Oh, and that is a big shot! 300 resources down the drain for Derp. Conversions could not connect in time, but he does end up getting a bunch of extra units anyway with the fishing ships over here. And, you know, he's still at 17 monks. That is not bad. That is not bad. Alternatively, I think Age of Empires allows you to control a group. Allows you to assign control groups for up to 20 groups, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, that was a wasted demo from StrayDog. Yeah, he got a monk, but he was very close to this. He could have gotten so much more damage. And Derp is playing with fire over here, just saying, out in the open, close to the dock. Another demo raft is coming up. He does kind of force StrayDog to take the individual monk down or risk losing the dock. But this is a vicious cycle. If StrayDog is going to keep on targeting the one monk over here, yeah, he cannot do any substantial damage against the bulk of the monk army, right, from there. In the end, it seems like there is no winning over here for StrayDog. By making a play for demos over there, in the end, it's just going to be Derp, the one to get the better end of the deal. They get Fervor. Let's take a look at it. He doesn't have Fervor yet, no. StrayDog managed to get a castle on the left-hand side. It's going to provide some protection. It's not going to do anything against the castle from Derp, of course. And is he going to clown his way through this matchup? It seems to be the case, man. Derp is tapping into his clown powers here. Into his clown chi to take the game, and so far it's working out really well. StrayDog might be the first player to go up to the Imperial Age, but he's behind by 21 workers. He doesn't have anywhere near as many military units as Derp, and of course, even if he did, Derp does hold the potential to convert up to 21 units with the monks he's got right now. You click all monks to one target first, then individually click random monks and retarget them to other units. You can do that, but it's also very high risk, and I don't think that's what he was doing, because he was not targeting a single unit with all the monks. There are several ways that you can micro the monks. You can control group them, and I think Age of Empires allows you to assign out to 20 control groups. Some of the... You're gonna have to assign hotkeys for that, right? If you have a mouse, for instance, with side buttons, that can come in quite handy. But besides control groups, you can do that. You can target everyone. You can target all the monks. You can target a single unit with all the monks rather than remove one monk. But then you run the risk of getting the conversion and then losing the fate of all the monks if you're not fast enough. Especially because you are charging the conversion with the first one. So you might not get the first conversion, but then if you have 18 monks and you assign 17 monks to convert something else, without breaking the charge, I think you might end up getting the conversion anyway, right? So that is another way. Another way would be to control group the monks in groups of 2, perhaps, but that's something that you probably want to do after you get Theocracy instead. All men are the best siege unit in a war game. Faith! Faith, man! Isn't that primary reason for medieval warfare? Just converted everyone to Christianhood. The Imperial Age is here for StrayDog. He's still behind by about 19 workers. Not quite as bad as before. D3rp is going out to the Imperial Age himself as well. And for military, we have a very, very good military ratio over here for the red player. Just take all the houses. Oh, that'll be the ultimate big brain play. Let's go. And he's been doing it. He's been taking some of the houses. StrayDog's the first player to the Imperial Age. He's going to be the first player with access to trebuchet, so he might be able to take the castle down over here. Meanwhile, D3rp is going for extra monasteries at the center. The red player is playing Bohemian, so if he manages to get a siege workshop here somewhere... I'm actually not really sure if he's got one. He does forward, alright. If he manages to get some bombard cannons once he gets to the Imperial Age, he's already going for chemistry, right? He gets access to it in the castle age. If he starts going for bombard cannons, then it doesn't really hurt to lose the castle over here in the sense that you're not going to need trebuchets, right? You can go for the bombard cannons, take the trebs down, and then push StrayDog away from the center. So far, looking good still though for D3rp. We might see a monk go down over there. But we'll still have 24 monks. And the first thing we see from D3rp in the Imperial Age though is theocracy and the block printing. He still does not have fervor though. The villagers are not quite as good. Well, we might not need that after all. The villagers already have the extra HP, and it's not like StrayDog's gonna be in a position to start putting pressure anytime soon against their base, starting base that is. He does try to get a castle up over here. That's a good amount of chakra throwers rather, sorry. So we see the monks coming up over here, trying to get the conversions. He's going to get most of the conversions over here, I'm pretty sure. How many monks do we have over here? Especially with theocracy, it shouldn't really be much of a struggle. And he's going after the villages as well. He's got enough monks to deny the castle, and he's going to do so. Even if D3rp's losing the TC over here, the castle from StrayDog is getting denied. As D3rp, right now, holds a comparable amount of chakra throwers compared to StrayDog. And it's not even the end of it. Still 17 monks. It seems like D3rp is starting to get kind of overwhelmed by his own strategy over here. It seems like he cannot really keep up with everything, can he? Bombard cannons here, and he's sending it dangerously close to the castle. He realizes about it in the last second. There we are. It's Halberdier who needs a time, D3rp. It should be. He doesn't really have the Hubnitsa upgrade coming up yet. Because I think he only had one siege workshop, right? So he was prioritizing production. Now he should be able to go for it. The castle from StrayDog's going to come up on the right hand side instead. He tried to get it up at the center, couldn't do it. And D3rp's got a castle back home, so he's going for trebuchets as well as the bombard cannons as well. So StrayDog's gonna have to make a choice. Does he go after the trebuchet? Does he go after the bombard cannons? He's going to go after the trebuchet. And we'll see a conversion coming up over there. The Shivan Rider gets converted. Trebuchet gets taken down over here by the rest of the Shivan Riders. Meanwhile, StrayDog is still on the back foot though. Oh, he converted the Treb actually. I thought he went for this. Okay. Too many conversions for the spectator to keep up. Imagine for StrayDog. Can you imagine being in the blue player's position over here? How do you even keep up with all the units you're losing to the conversions? You just keep on getting the sound. Every time the sound effect of unit converted after unit converted, it's gotta be so frustrating. Chakra throwers gonna convert it over here. We're gonna see villagers going down. Yeah, man, and the unit control for D3rp has been really good. Let's take a look at the APM. Still looking higher compared to StrayDog. Not as ungodly as it was before with 150 or so, but once again, when you're not really relying on the automatized processes that you usually rely on to keep your APM high, to keep the flow of the game, this is what happens. Derp, though, will take game number 5. Guys, as he is the one to get... This is an upset, isn't it? StrayDog, about 400 elo right now, or about 360 elo higher compared to Derp, does end up getting knocked out of the Silver League of T90 Titans League. Derp's gonna be the one moving on then to the Decider Series to take place this weekend. And he's looking great. He's looking absolutely fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to see what this player is going to look like in the Decider set in the round of 18. For the achievements for this one then, we'll see for military a better KD for StrayDog by quite a lot. Remember guys, we still have one more series to go after this one, right? So we get a better KD for StrayDog. We have a much better conversion desertion rate for Derp. He did not lose a single unit to conversion. So if you are to merge conversion, like the CD to the KD, right? It actually favors Derp quite a bit. That is 58 plus 35. That's going to be 93 if I'm not mistaken. My quick maths are not incorrect. So 93 to 77. That's still going to be about 9 to 7 KD plus CD. Favoring Derp, who got a much stronger economy this game. Now, I was probably expecting his economy to be significantly stronger than this, though. Only 2,000 extra resources, given how many extra villages he had. Seems a little bit underwhelming, to be fair. But in the end, Derp makes it work. Who needs Navy when you got Religion? And it's gonna be the one moving on. Final score, Derp 3, StrayDog 2. Well played.